At the National Philharmonic Hall in Warsaw, violinist Joshua Bell and conductor Dalia Stasevska are on an intensely focused mission to get the opening bars of a concerto just right. The work begins with a series of open chords from wind instruments. A loud melody on the violin rises, and this chord develops into a lyrical phrase so intimate and quiet that it plays brass. The musician's record piece so that the passage is repeated over and over again. Then critiqued with best adjustments. You can hardly believe that young Ukrainian orchestra, who bring such disciplined passion their work, had cue for 9 hours day before cross Polish border or literally had deal with harsh realities of life. They haven't been dealing with a large-scale war for last 2 years. Or indeed the heartbreaking fact that one of Horn's, Maryan Hadzetskyy, was lost in combat. Before the war we played Ukrainian music, but now the list of pieces is getting too long but the risks are very high for everyone on stage. The violin concerto is by the almost forgotten Ukrainian-born composer Thomas de Hartmann. The musicians of International Symphony Orchestra Lviv are making the first commercial recording of work since its premiere in 1943. They will then perform the work in Warsaw at a concert featuring Ukrainian and Polish music. The timing this wartime resurgence has its own irony. For de Hartmann's klezmer-influenced music was deeply influenced by his sadness at the Nazi occupation of Ukraine and, in particular, the fate his Jewish citizens. Bell is fiercely in love with this new addition to his repertoire. This is one of the great works of the 20th century, he told me. He would love to play it with Stasevska and the New York Philharmonic. Perhaps he's considering this, pairing it with the Barber concerto that premiered a few years ago. Bell says he loved well-proportioned shape of the piece, with its thrillingly demonic, sappy finale followed by an offbeat, vignette-like movement that evokes a violinist wandering war-torn Ukrainian steppes, playing his terrible and sad songs. De Hartmann's wife Olga once wrote, he says the work is cinematic with its lively, almost visual sensibility and habit of cutting between musical scenes, suffering from the Nazi occupation. Thomas de Hartmann, AlbumAlamy Indeed. He brought it from northeastern Ukraine pre-revolutionary Saint. His life was full of extraordinary events, leading him study Rimsky-Korsakov in St. Petersburg, Munich and his friendship with Kandinsky, and from there a life-changing wartime meeting the mystic and spiritual leader George Gurdjieff traveled to Tbilisi in 1920s, Paris during the Second World War, and eventually to United States, where he in 1956. De Hartmann also wrote film scores. He managed to create something that was immediately approachable, Bell says of the work. It has beautiful melodies, but it is also incredibly interesting. It has complex, unusual harmonies and is full of surprises. You think